Welcome to Tactics Ogre Reborn review, you overthinking bastards. Unfortunately, don't have time to finish the game due to many others coming out soon, so gonna have to do this shorter than usual review based on time played, which is around 50 to 60 hours. Got to end of chapter 3 and researched a bit what and if there is endgame stuff. A review key was provided by Square Enix and as always it doesn't affect my opinion whatsoever. I haven't played the original, so no clue what actual changes are in the Reborn version, but people have commented already that Reborn is improvement over original without a doubt. So look at this review from perspective of someone that has no idea what Tactics Ogre is, and this is first encounter with it. Only thing I strongly dislike about Tactics Ogre Reborn is lack of graphical advancement. This is personal preference, as I don't like this graphical style that much. Game looks sharper than original, but lot of muddy textures try to hide lack of progress in that area. For nostalgic bastards that isn't an issue. It isn't for me either, as graphics always take backseat in any game I play, but more work on character models should have been done. Clearer textures and more details. Other than that, no complaints at all that would be significant. Only thing I can think of next to graphics is minor thing like scrolling description of abilities, which is way too outdated and annoying to wait for scroll to end to get whole idea what a skill does. Story is fantastic. Not gonna spoil anything, but it revolves around warring nations and factions with deceitful leaders trying to up one another through atrocious war crimes and backstabbings. Denham is typical goody two-shoes that wants to help his nation fight back against oppressor, but ends up being dragged through dirt due to his naivety. What I love about the story is that there are no real good guys here. Everyone serves their own self-interest, which is how our reality is when it comes to governing bodies. You need to make immediately choice of being neutral, chaotic or lawful, which affects who is gonna be recruitable from unique characters later on. No clue how it affects general story though. Story overall is a big positive, as there are also choices that need to be made and can be revisited during endgame to recruit additional characters. Endgame is sort of new game plus with said option to revisit most important story points. Game offers also 100 floor dungeon and some unique side quests that add more challenges with direct connection to unique recruitable characters. Even though I haven't experienced it, just reading about all this stuff makes me think it is great overall addition and adds enough content to satisfy most players. Tactics are slow-paced games that focus on battlefield mechanics, class diversity and army builds. Big thing is how these types of games approach battling inevitable tediousness due to one-dimensional gameplay, and I have to say that no tedium was felt by yours truly. Story is also a big part of reason why. Ogre utilizes many mechanics from simple ones such as where to look upon ending turn, elevation advantages and disadvantages, to added complexity layers through weather mechanic, recruit, replay option, with many skills and spells that work differently. Most of these mechanics wouldn't mean much if game doesn't challenge the player properly, and Ogre does that very nicely. Difficulty is where it needs to be, even though some battles can be more on easier side, after which usually tough battle occurs. Those battles can then be modified by focusing on recruiting or by fielding less units to get a much needed experience boost, as experience is shared. I've played a lot with recruit mechanic to recruit as many interesting entities as possible, namely dragons to build dragon army. Whole recruit mechanic adds that little bit of excitement. Fantastic idea a game utilizes is limited leveling cap. Each story period has unit level cap, where player cannot just overlevel and take out everything easily. In Ogre this works great as it keeps game challenging throughout. Have to commend AI as well. Sometimes they fail, but usually AI does good job by focusing support and healers first, which adds additional challenge layer. Tactics Ogre provides interesting non-humanoid entities such as golems, dragons, cockatrices, griffins, undead, orcs, cyclops, and who knows what else. That is important, as each race has different default advantages and usually different classes. Reptiles and orcs can be juggernauts, for example, while humans can't. That is type of depth needed in a game like this to battle tedium by constantly introducing new potentially interesting army additions. With more levels, each class and race unlocks new abilities that are slotted in 4 open slots. Next to that, spells and items are equipped, which is very important. Items that grant dodge or weaken boss type units are very useful and can change tide of battle. Character build progression is nice, but nothing spectacular. It mostly comes down how army is structured and how each unit plays into strengths and weaknesses, and I like that a lot. There is also crafting that can significantly improve gear through added additional skills to regular weapons and also stat boosts. Audio work is great with great tunes, awesome voiceovers and good sound effects. Visually, I have said my piece already. Magic video effects are really good though. Love character portrait art style as well. Classic 90s Square. Tactics Ogre Reborn is fantastic tactics game that does its thing at the highest level. Impressive depth, interesting army compositions, fantastic story, endgame content and proper challenge. Can't recommend it enough. It is unfortunate I don't have enough time to finish and dissect it thoroughly, but my experience tells me game is easy 8 out of 10, which translates to great one. I don't think realistically scores could differentiate too much from 7 to 9 range, as game is truly high quality, but it also depends if you've played it before or not. Anyway, thanks for watching, check out description if you'd like to help the channel further, and see you soon.